over the past year, I invested over $40,000 into online coaching. And here's what I learned about choosing the right mentors to help you along your journey. What I've realized is 90% of you guys watching have absolutely no idea how to choose the right mentors. And just like me, you end up wasting tens of thousands of dollars trying to find someone that actually knows their stuff. So when you first get into the online space, you have likely seen a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, and you wanted to immediately become a dropshipper, growth operator, or maybe even a trader. And therefore, you went to your favorite guru and opted in to their funnel. And now you become a prospect. And at that point, you are being closed because you have no idea what's going on. So you end up dropping your first 3 to 5K investment, and you are potentially getting ripped off because you have not done your research. You have no idea if they are legit at all. You have just been convinced by all the emotional manipulation that their content system and their ecosystem has presented you with. Now, if you're watching this video and you have actually invested in a program so far, then you might be able to relate to this because then you don't see the ROI that you were promised. And then you start looking for the next best thing, the next best strategy, the next best funnel to try, the next best trading strategy, dropshipping strategy, and whatnot. And then you buy another program, right? Then it is your next 3 to 5K investment or your next 10K investment because you're looking for that silver bullet and you still don't understand why these programs are not working for you. Well, here's exactly how to actually choose the right mentor to help you along your journey. So whenever you're choosing the right mentor, it is not only important that they themselves have been successful in whatever they were doing, but it is also important that they're able to help you get where you want to get. So, for example, if you're based in the US and you buy the mentorship of a US-based guru, that might make sense because you guys likely have the same background. But if you're an Eastern European guy and you buy the mentorship of a US-based guru like I did, because I'm originally from Hungary, so I bought mentorships of US-based gurus, well, guess what? It doesn't always work the same way because my starting point is not the same as someone's starting point who is based in the US. And this is by no means telling you that I am a victim and therefore I should deserve to fail, but rather just to show you that there are cultural differences. So if you're from a different country than your mentor, then likely you need to make sure that they actually understand where you are from and what sort of advantages and disadvantages that country comes with. So we are still living in the real life. You know, the info space and the online space is just a bubble, and real life differences in terms of geography and cultural differences, they exist. And so whenever you start working with someone, you need to make absolutely sure, not necessarily that they are from the same background, but rather that they deeply understand your situation and all the contextual elements that might make you fail. So for example, in my case, people just told me to just do outreach, right? To just send Loom videos to creators and sign them on as a growth operator because I started training as a growth operator and now I have a growth operating agency, High Day Media. If you want to know more about all this kind of things, that you can go down below, follow me on Instagram, check out the first link in my bio, check out my client results and whatnot. But I started out as a growth operator and I was told to just send Loom videos. But the thing that they did not account for is that I could not speak English properly, right? So I had struggles speaking English. So what that meant is that I actually would have needed to have English lessons rather than do Loom videos right off the bat. And that was simply not addressed. So if your coach or mentor does not deeply understand your situation, then you will likely fail. And here's another absolutely crucial thing that you need to pay attention to whenever you're choosing a mentor. And it's that there are two types of people in this world. There are more technical and more intuitive people. And depending on whether you are a technical or intuitive person, your style of coaching that works for you is going to be completely different. Because if you're an intuitive person, that what you actually lack is structure. What you lack is systems. What you lack is someone holding you accountable to the fact that you are just freestyling everything, that you're honestly just not professional enough. But if you are a technical person, then what you need is more art in the way that you execute. You need more freedom, you need more freestyle, you need more chaos in the way that you do things. Because if you're too technical, if you're too structured, if you're too perfectionistic, then someone telling you to implement another system and here's this exact tracking process will not do you any good, because what you need is vitality in the way that you execute. You don't need another system. You already have all the systems in your head, right? But if you're an intuitive person, if you're someone who is just free flowing, a little bit freestyling things, then what you need is structure. What you need is tracking sheets. What you need is scripts. What you need is more structure in the way that you operate so that you're able to scale your business from there. And a lot of online coaches and mentors simply don't get this. What has worked for them will not necessarily work for another person. Being someone who executes and succeeds by themselves is completely different from being the teacher that helps someone else execute and succeed. So, for example, if the coach was an intuitive person to begin with and what he needed is structure, then that methodology that has worked for him will likely not work for someone who actually needs more intuition in the way that they execute. And vice versa, it's the same thing. So, whenever you are choosing a coach, make absolutely sure not necessarily that they have the exact same background, but rather that they deeply understand where you are coming from and deeply understand your problems. If at any point you feel like that they are just trying to push their systems down your throat, never go with that person, because that will make you buy repackaged information over and over again. I've literally spent $15,000 on information that I already had access to. I spent 15K and there was nothing coming out the other side. So I hope that this video saved you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And if you're an online coach, consultant, or agency owner in the info space, then you might also consider working with me. For that, just go to the first link in the description and you will see all the details there. Or if you just enjoyed the video, then consider subscribing, following me on Instagram, do all those actions. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.